What's up, guys? Mikey in the building. Hope you guys had a good day today. Small caps definitely are heating up a little bit, huh? Um, did not capitalize too crazy yesterday, and it's crazy to me because I missed that opportunity with drug, and I traded it before and failed to capitalize on it. It is what it is, but I did stay up. I did wake up early, and I was ready for today. The crazy part is too is I did miss ATNF, right? I missed ATNF. Um, just hesitated, waited too long, and it just completely ripped. Okay, all right. Drug went up almost 1,000%, and then this puppy almost went up 1,000%. So I stayed patient. I didn't get FOMO. I didn't just start going crazy and adding and chasing these things because it's just not how I trade too. I think that was another thing that got me. I shifted my focus to soaking, accumulating a position, right, accumulating size rather than punching it all at once, right. I don't like doing that because I learned over time that you do that, you might initiate the tape, you might initiate a dip buy, you might initiate something, then there's no follow through, and then what happens is that the tape eventually still sells off. Like there's still the sell algo or selling, bigger people selling, more people shorting, and you're kind of initiating a quick pop and then get caught on the wrong side and the trend has shifted and then you're getting sold into more. So something might pop up 2, 3%, 4%, maybe even 5 off those buys, but then it fails. So I didn't do that with this. However, I did trade VS. Um, this was also a previous runner. If you traded this in the past, this is another previous runner. All right, I thought this was an amazing controlled walk down, especially on the book, right? If you look at the book over here on VS, this was an amazing walk down. All right, I thought this was very controlled. They controlled it with offers, and then we had the opening bell. Okay, we had opening bell. This is a particular level that probably should have failed right here, looking at 450s, but this was the soak ad right here, playing this in here, because even though this sold off right here, bids came back in on this one, and we actually broke these higher lows, and then we stayed intact. Okay, this would have been a nice other great ad right here if you missed anything that was over here. The bids stood on this book, and then there wasn't that same liquidity right here, so this became an open pocket. All right, they tried to hold it down right here. You see it failed. And then we revisited this particular area, and then we started to really start to crank. This is a previous area of interest. So this, if this was going to fail, this should have gotten heavy and actually broke down from 470s. All right. But what's really important is that we start actually attacking this structure, these lower high structures down here. Okay, so that was a great trade. Holding that, and in particular for me, I only grabbed 6K on this and I let it work. I didn't oversize on this play, but I held it for a freaking amazing move on this one. All right. The book was kind of crazy on this one. You just had to really pay attention to a couple key levels, especially this unhalt level where it dumped and it reclaimed. This did not break down and get heavy again. Instead, there was still huge appetite when you started to crank right through a lot of levels, right? And when you look at this from a different perspective, right, of where this is going, um, always make sure you're paying attention to structure no matter what. Hot cycle, not a hot cycle. It's because where this is starting to trade, right? These deep pullbacks, and now we're starting to crank and retest these lower highs is phenomenal. All right, in my opinion, on that one, all right. That was a great trade. After that, it took me a little while, but QRNX was a really was an amazing trade for me. As other things were going on, this particular daily, I would trade this over and over and over again. This is my go-to. Previous VWAP on this one was 114. This is a huge sell-off, controlled sell-off right here in this consolidation. Nice sideways consolidation, then we started to actually crank. All right, the volume on this day was only 20 mil on that dump. All right, by the time we started soaking and putting this setup, we had about 14 mil, about 15 mil. And I took the shot with this one. I soaked this whole entire dip setup right here. I even had 62s and would try my hardest to only grab the dips. So I did average up to 63s, but every time this did come down and dip, I soaked. In particular, there's this zone right here that I was making sure that I was working off of, which was this pre-market zone, or sorry, not pre-market zone, this open market dump right here. All right, I wanted to see these levels in this zone hold. All right, very important for me. Okay, not only in that, it's another area on the daily right here. You know, if you're just drawing any zones out right here and throwing them out and running them out, right, you're gonna get a better idea. Okay, so that was a key level for me on that one. All right. More importantly, I was talking with Jay about this one too, and this was the one that could potentially catch everyone off guard, start cranking, and then now everyone else has to start chasing. And we had so many moves that it was kind of up only, gapping 2, 3, 4, 500%, going. So it's definitely understanding market cycle and conditions. So this one was an amazing return for me on this one. All right. I did not catch a top because as soon as this unhalted, it dumped right back down. So I got majority of my shares off at 130 on that one. Ctcx was another one I traded. All right. This one was crazy. All right. Ctcx too. Actually, I really like this soak pattern too. Down here before it actually went. Someone actually did step up right here with the 50K bid and showed their face. Showed their hand right there. 50 cents was a key level to me. You know, a couple reasons on this one. It was open print on this one. So when this started to come through right here, really wanted to see these levels hold. Right. I got my open print right here is this 50 cent level. Right. This is where we opened up. You know, if you're looking at this structure, I had a hard time getting over this level all day. So we finally did get over it. Really wanted to see it not break down from that level right there. So that was another crazy return. Daily wise too. You know, while this is trading, we're trading at 50 cents right here, right? Though this one still was not even that gapped up that much. It's about 50%. All right. I like this one because we weren't gapped up that much. All right. You know, as much as I want to be like, oh my God, you know, VS, I'm so happy about that one. Size down. That was a low floater, a previous runner. Cool. Gave me almost 4 points a share on 6K. That's phenomenal. But again, I want to stick to my roots. It's very important to me to stick to my roots and continue to look for ones that I can soak and still trade. All right. I'm not going to throw everything out of the window and change up how I trade because of some crazy cycles or runners that are going up only. So daily perspective wise, and if you actually look at this structure, right, these are huge sell-offs. Another one right here. This gaps down. It tries. It sells off again. So these are key levels right here to attack, right? You got a lower high right here and a lower high right here. All right, and then we have highs, right? $1. All right, daily wise, I really thought this would squeeze up to 155s and go for the 200s. It's really a big target for me, but daily perspective wise, like 108s is a big level right here. You know, so 108s to like 116s is great. You know, maybe this consolidation right here, even up to 122. And yeah, I did tap 127, but that was a really great play. All right. This rotation I thought was also great. Right. This did not break down. We also started to stay above halt levels. Okay. So this should have stayed heavy, but this rotated really nicely and actually squeezed up even higher. All right. This was a good area right here to hold to me, book wise and pretty much above these unhalt levels. All right, super controlled. Again, they did the same thing right here, and they did it right here. All right, someone did not want to get filled on the offer side yet, so they pull these levels, and it's crazy because they swipe it down into this previous area where they have this control, and it does not break down. All right, and we start to squeeze, and now we get back over previous area of interest areas, which is great. Good stuff on that one. So those two were definitely huge wins for me. I did trade PRQR. You know, it did take me a while. I wasn't too sure about this one. So I didn't, only took a couple thousand on this one, but, you know, I wrote it up for almost 80 cents a share. So that's nice. You know, I could be like, hey, I could have took so much more size. I didn't take a lot of size on this one. I traded particularly off this area right here, right? Once we started to reclaim this area, I took a stab at a dip. I had 323s on this one, pretty much over this area where they were holding it down for a while and where a fat seller came through right there. That's the reason why I took that trade on that one. They didn't have a lot of bid support, so you definitely had to be watching a level 2 on this one. You know, you had different exchanges on this one holding this up. I thought this was a great area to hold, you know, for continuation, not to get stopped out. You know, anything holding above these areas where they held it down for a while, for over an hour, was great. You know, and then sometimes sizing down does help, right? It helped me with VS, and then I caught an amazing return. You know, I didn't take that many shares on this one, but, you know, nice return on this one as well. That's pretty much it. You know, my main focus was QNRX and this name right here. These pennies, you know, daily wise, this was opening up pretty low, right? Something else too, if you made it this long, with 12 minutes, you know, we had a lot of movers soak after hours, consolidate in pre-market, and then run at open. You have to be able to adapt and adjust to how things are going. That's what drug did. All right, drug popped after hours, soaked pre-market, and then went bananas. All right, on a day 2 move. Super important. All right, so to identify structure cycle-wise is super key. All right, so that one, and then QNRX2. Oops. You know, QNRX daily-wise too. You know, while this was soaking down here in these 60s, you know, it was up 23%, 30%. It wasn't up anything, you know. So that's a really good RR for me, right? If this trade doesn't work, I stop out for 5-10 cents, take the loss, right? If this trade works out and it starts to pick up and grind and I get a crazy return, that's the magic in these, right? That's how I've been trading all these names. Rinse and repeat. But all right, guys, much love. Peace out, Mikey.